All right, all right, all right. Wow. This thing is looking good. Okay. Good lighting and everything. Let me go ahead and share this out on Twitter. We'll wait till everybody joins. And I'll go ahead and get started. What's going on, folks? DJ Steels, my guy. What's going on, Steels? What's going on, everybody? I'm going to wait till everybody joins, and then we will go ahead and get started. Mr. 3 weeks, yes. Rothschild is gone. I will likely start there. And then I got some Chapman news that I basically put out there already. I don't know if people missed it, but I will talk about that news again. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys don't mind, like I always ask you to do, if you can also share this, that would be great. On Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is you can share on, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Yes, you know when the flower shirt is on, there is going to be some news to talk about, and there is definitely Yankee news to talk about today, no doubt about it. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing on this Monday, October 28th? October 28th, folks. The year is flying by. As soon as we know it, baseball will already be back. The year is flying. What's up, Michael? Thank you for joining. Angel, thank you for joining. Adrian, thank you for joining. Isaac, Tyler, everybody, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? I'll give it a few more minutes because I said I will start at 7:45. Well, 7:45. So let's give it a couple more minutes and then we will jump right into it and get started. I'll give it a minute or so. All right. I'll give it a couple of seconds here, then I will jump right into it. And we will go from there. Nationals had one job. Hey, man, they're facing a really good team. You know what I mean? They're facing a really good team. You know, even as a Yankee fan, we can't knock on that. Anthony, Pete, real quick, Diaz or Masvidal? I got Diaz. I got Diaz all day. Got him excited about this whole week, man. Yankee news. I'm going to be getting more information by the end of the week. Saturday's the fights. It's a great time for me. It's a great time for me. Shoot a music video soon. It is an absolute great time for me right now. All right, guys, I'm going to jump right into it. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot of good things for the New York Yankees. Some news that I could talk to you guys about that I already did. Thank you so much for sharing on Facebook. Again, I don't have a huge community at Facebook yet, but thank you guys for sharing. I really appreciate that. So let's start with the big news immediately. Rhythm and flow. Yeah, I definitely got what it takes to win. Thank you, man. Let's start immediately. Larry Rothschild is gone. Larry Rothschild was fired, folks. He wasn't, as some people said, his contract was up. He was fired. Larry Rothschild was fired. The Yankees are moving on from Larry Rothschild. They went ahead and fired him, relieved him of his duties, however you want to go about saying it. He is gone. So, the news of the day is that, he's been fired. Joel Sherman believes the Yankees are going to look for somebody who's very analytically sound. They can really communicate well with the younger pitchers on the club. And, look into more analytic things, spin rate, things of that nature that can really develop these guys even further and to get this team going pretty quickly. So looking at all that, one of the names that came up to mind for me is, of course, David Cone. And I'm not the only person. Many other Yankee writers, Jack Curry, I know that I believe Brian Hoke, a few other ones came out there and said that former players have came out in support of the possibility of David Cone looking to become the next Yankee pitching coach. We know that David Cone has expressed an interest in managing, preferably being a coach or a manager of the club. We don't know his interest yet of being a pitching coach. I think he would. He knows the Yankees, of course. He knows the pitchers. He knows who they have in their system. He's great with analytics. He's one of the best listens that you can have in baseball when it comes to pitching. He knows his stuff. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I did also hear about Carsey, Steve Carsey. I did hear about that. That was also reported by another media guy. Phelps, the AAA pitching coach, is also an option. So there's a few guys out there already that could be options for the Yankees. I have also been told that there's a possibility you could see some more changes on the coaching staff, whether that is the medical staff, which is likely going to change a bit, possibly the hitting coach, possibly first base. We'll see what happens there. We don't know what's going to happen yet with Phil Nevin, if he's going to come back, if he's still in consideration for some of the manager jobs out there. So it's very, very interesting to see what can happen on that. So I'll take, if you guys have some questions regarding that, we can start there, and then I will go to the other news that I also have today that I already put on Twitter. I don't know if a lot of people missed it, but we can talk about that from there. Anybody got questions on Rothschild and the whole pitching coach situation for the Yankees? Anybody got questions about that? Andy Pettitte for pitching coach? No, I don't see that as a possibility. A lot of people also believe the Yankees may go with a younger guy outside the organization. Whoever that might be, I would see. Do you think Beltran and A-Rod for hitting coach? No. A-Rod would have no reason to leave his current job to be a hitting coach. And I think Beltran will be happy being a manager. I don't think Beltran wants to jump into that type of coaching role when he could potentially have a manager job on the table. He's already gone into his third round of interviews with the Mets. So I don't see that. Would Cone be my first choice? Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how Cone communicates. I know there's a lot of people who love Cone. I know that for a fact. I hear him. He is an absolutely amazing announcer when it comes to breaking pitchers down. I've seen him during games recognize that a pitcher is doing something wrong and stating what it is and showing it on highlights. So if that's something that David Cone can pick up on so easily, that would mean a lot. That would mean a lot to the Yankees. I think they need somebody that's a little more open to communication. I'm not saying that Larry Rothschild was not open to communication. There's obviously a reason they fired him. There's something missing that they want to add that the Yankees feel Larry will not do well with. So if that's analytics, if that's breaking things down like spin rate, if that is tutoring, if that is mentoring, I don't know. We don't know that. They really put out a generic statement just thanking him for his services. But I'm a fan of David Cone. As you guys know, me and David Cone has been a follower of me for a while. He was one of the first people to shout me out a while back. We've been able to communicate through DMs every now and then. So I personally like Cone, and I know he knows his baseball. So I think he would be a perfect fit. I mean, he's definitely a newer. He's not. I don't consider him an older guy who couldn't relate to the younger players. I definitely think he could. He seems like a hard worker. He knows his stuff. But would he also want to leave the booth to be a pitching coach? I think that'll be the big question for David Cone. I see a couple people mention other things like CC Sabathia. No, I don't think Sabathia will be interested at all in being a pitching coach. If you've heard some of CC Sabathia talk about things like that, it's not something he really wants to get into or do, especially immediately. So I don't think that would be the case. I think the main one would be a guy like David Cone. I think Carsey makes sense. I think Phelps in AAA makes sense since he knows a lot of these pitchers already in the system. We'll see where the Yankees go. It's going to be interesting to see how quick they start interviews and the names that are going to be interviewed. I do believe that David Cone almost certainly will be interviewed. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, the level of support that he's already getting from media heads, especially a guy like Jack Curry, who is the Yes Network's almost main insider, the main guy when it comes to Yankee news. If he's already saying it, that would make a lot of sense. I think that would definitely make a lot of sense. I like the idea of David Cone doing that. Guys, I'm going to pause for a second. If you guys can go ahead and get the likes up for me, I would greatly appreciate that. And for all the 100 plus people in here, if you are not subscribed to my page, please do that now. You are not going to want to miss news this off season. I'm sure there'll be a lot of news to talk about. So please go ahead and click that like button for me. And if you are new and you have a group out there or something on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, go ahead and share this out. I welcome everybody to be in these chats and ask me questions. As you guys know, I don't back down from whatever question. We can have a conversation, a debate, whatever you like, and go from there. But I do have some news to talk about, besides the pitching coach. Gio, my friend, you didn't miss anything. Right now, we are just talking about the pitching coach situation. But let me jump into some more news that you guys are going to be interested in. I cannot confirm that the New York Yankees are not trying to work out a deal with Aroldis Chapman, but it is my understanding that he is going to opt out of his deal with the Yankees with the idea of getting an extension and get more years from New York. So there is a real possibility that Aroldis Chapman could have an additional year or two added from the New York Yankees, that he will stay, or if he opts out. Now, here's my opinion of this situation. If the Yankees give him an additional year and he wants to take it, okay, I'm not going to complain. But if he opts out, I let him go. Let me explain to you why. And this is the video I was going to make today. The reason why I am comfortable with letting Chapman go is, one, I think the bullpen would be easier to manage than getting a starting pitcher, which this is a new age Yankees, folks. This is not the Yankees who could afford everybody. We're no longer going to fall into that trap and believe they can, when it's been proven now time and time again they're not going to just throw money anymore, right? So the Gardy video is coming very soon, folks. That is still coming. It'll come by the end of this week. Probably Wednesday or Thursday you'll have the Gardy video. But sticking to Aroldis Chapman, I wouldn't, if he opts out, or if he doesn't accept a one more year extension, and he does opt out, I don't even look to entertain conversations. I let him go. And I save that money to add to a pitcher. Let him and Didi go. That's a lot of money you're already saving. And you can go ahead and try to get your starting pitcher that you need. I also have information on a starting pitcher that I'm sure some of you guys are likely already aware of. But I would not go ahead and worry about the idea of having to force myself to bring him back when you have Zach Britton, Adam Ottavino, Tommy Kahnle, Dellin Betances will likely come back with the Yankees on a small deal, possibly, unless somebody blows them away. But you got Ben Heller. You got Lyons, who you can bring back. Yankees have many arms. Garcia, Green, Loizaga. There's a lot of Nick Nelson. There's a lot of guys the Yankees have in a minor league system. Trevor Stevens, a guy who throws very hard. So there's a lot of guys out there who would make a lot of sense for the Yankees to build a bullpen around, that they don't have to break the bank, so to say, to try to, sign this guy when they really do need to focus on starting pitching. Now, speaking of starting pitching, I was told today, and again, I'm going to get a lot more information here in the next couple of days, to look out for the Yankees going after Zach Wheeler as an alternative to potentially doing the pursuit of Cole. They will no doubt about it go after Cole. Now, the thing is with Garrett Cole, they may not be the biggest offer. They may not blow him out the water for this gigantic deal, but they very well could offer a good one. But Zach Wheeler, the Yankees really, really like. He's one of those guys that they've been after for a while. He's one of the as I call them, Cashman's boys, of guys that Brian Cashman have always been very interested in to try to trade for. So Wheeler could also make sense already in New York. I would assume if the Yankees were to get a guy like Wheeler and pass on Cole, I would still want them to get somebody in the trade market. But I do think Cole is their top priority, is the guy they want to get. They want to figure out a way to lock him down by still staying in the bubble of not paying out a lot of money. So I think that would be very, very likely for the Yankees. You'll see them try to do that. Now, if they go ahead and don't blow it out the water, or it's not a major signing, 30+ million a year, 8 years, I don't think the Yankees go that route. I think they do try to make an offer at something they feel is fair. Now, again, it wasn't enough for a Corbin. Would it be enough for Cole? We'll see. We'll see what happens there. We will see what happens. I do think Happ will get traded. I think the Yankees will try to figure out a way to get away from Happ. Another option the Yankees can take with a J Happ is to trade him for a veteran relief pitcher, a guy that maybe has a year or 2 years on a deal. A name off the top of my head that might make a little bit of sense. Wasn't great this year, but could make sense for the Yankees. But this is just me talking. This is no information. You would have to look at a deal pretty much like a Happ for an Andrew Miller, where the contracts are kind of the same, where, the Yankees may have to give a little more of that deal, but a Happ for an Andrew Miller would make a bit of sense. That's just based off of how the contracts are structured. It's kind of eating each other's contracts, and you're just swapping a change of scenery. The Cardinals will get a starter. The Yankees will get another lefty relief pitcher, especially if Britton can become the closer. That kind of makes a little bit of sense. And again, that's just off of my brain. That's just brainstorming. That's not anything with any legit information behind it. But then again, the Cardinals may not do that deal. Now, he wasn't the same pitcher this year, so it's not like they would be giving up a dominating relief pitcher. He definitely wasn't that at all. But that's just a guess. That's just a guess. Or that's just an idea of what a trade would have to look like if they were to trade Happ for a relief pitcher, because you still want to try to get something decent. Is Lindor a target for us in the offseason? I think he'll be a target for many teams, including the Yankees. As you know, the report came out today that the Dodgers would be interested in him. So I do think he would also be a target of the Yankees, no doubt about it. I like the idea of trading Happ for a relief pitcher. Well, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. Rumors are that Cole wants to go to the West Coast. Rumors are that Corbin wanted to go to the Yankees. Rumors are that Cole has always been a Yankee fan. He wants to play for the Yankees. So, folks, rumors are rumors. When it comes to players, they're going to go likely where the money is. If the Yankees offer more money than, say, the Dodgers or the Angels do, Cole will come to the Yankees. If the Dodgers or the Angels offer a much larger deal, he'll spur the Yankees to go there. So, I mean, it depends on a lot of different things. On this question about where Cole signs, I sadly believe the Angels or some other California team. That's very possible. It's very possible. So we'll see. Yankees will get Scherzer. I don't know why the Nationals would trade him. Thoughts on Moose coming to the Yankees? Do you mean Mike Moustakas? Doesn't really make sense if you ask me. I like Moustakas, but the Yankees need another DJ LeMahieu in their lineup. If the Yankees could somehow get... Here's the type of player. I'm not going to say this is the guy the Yankees need, but if the Yankees can get another guy like a LeMahieu or like a Whit Merrifield that doesn't strike out, that puts the ball in play, that are very good situational hitters, those are the guys the Yankees need. They need another one of those guys somewhere. So the Yankees definitely need another contact hitter in that lineup. You see what DJ LeMahieu does. You see how good his swing is when he's behind in the account. Just absolutely excellent. What happened with Andujar? He'll be healthy for spring training and ready to play. Adam Frazier makes a lot of sense for the Yankees from the Pirates. And as you guys know, Neil Huntington is now gone from the Pirates. The Pirates are making a lot of changes. I also think you'll see the Pirates make a couple of trades. Adam Frazier would be a very nice pickup for the Yankees. He's the guy who puts the ball in play. He looks like he's really coming into his own. He's a lefty bat, which the Yankees can definitely use. I love the idea of Adam Frazier. I don't think the Cardinals would trade Colton Wong. I don't think the Cardinals would trade him. I think a Domingo Germán for a Colton Wong would make a lot of sense for both clubs. But I don't see the Cardinals trading him. And I don't really see Domingo Germán going anywhere right now after he smacked his girlfriend and is probably going to miss about 80 or so games to start the year. So I don't think teams are going to be jumping down to try to get this guy. Ryan says Estevan Florial in 2020, he'll have to really tear the cover off the ball or really perform the way he did in the second half. He was a lot better when he came back from injury. But I think he has to really put something together. Look, this guy's been in A-ball and AA for a while. He's never really progressed the way the Yankees thought he would. So we'll see. Your Stanton tweet. My Stanton tweet is, basically I think what everybody else is thinking. I heard the rumors. I've been hearing the rumors for a while that Stanton may not be the happiest guy on the planet in New York, but that also doesn't mean he'll be traded. The Yankees are in a situation where it'll be hard to move him unless they have a buyer out there and he wants to be moved. That's the other part. If he says, hey, look, if you guys can move me to one of these clubs and you want to, let's talk about a deal. Hey, look, the Angels need somebody to help protect Trout in that lineup. I think that could be a possibility. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. This is just, there's no evidence behind any of that right now. But maybe that's a possibility. I don't think Stanton goes anywhere, but we'll see. Are we going to see Jason Dominguez in A-ball this year? If he performs the way, a lot of people think he can and what scouts have been saying out of the Dominican League, I think you could definitely see this kid move up pretty quickly. Look, there's guys right now 20 years old. I don't think he's far away. If he's this good, I don't think Dominguez is that far away. I don't think the problem with Stanton right now is that he's not good. I don't think that's the issue. I don't think the issue is that Stanton isn't good. I think the issue for Giancarlo Stanton is that if the rumors are true, you don't want to be in a place where you're unhappy or you're uncomfortable. He probably wasn't too happy about being on the bench when he wanted to play. Aaron Boone said he came to him almost every day saying that he wanted to play. So, hold on, let me get this guy out of here. I'm kind of getting sick of him. Give me a second, guys. Maybe it worked already. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Good, it worked. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just hate when people do things in here and they're just stupid when everybody else is looking to have a conversation. The main thing about Jason Dominguez, he just got to do what he got to do. We're seeing guys come up. We're seeing Juan Soto in the major leagues right now in, the World Series doing great. We see a lot of guys doing really good. But Stanton's contract is the biggest issue, like Ryan just said. That's 100% right. And if he's unhappy here, that's also not good. He was obviously upset about not playing when he came to Boone apparently every day, said, hey, coach, hey, Skip, I want to be in the lineup today. And he was never in the lineup. So we heard Brian Cashman say he had a great grade 2 strain that, they felt he couldn't play. And my answer to that is, if that was the case, why the hell was he even on it then? You could have had a Tauchman on there. You could have had a Wade on there who could at least run late in games to try something out. You could have even DH'd somebody else. And, you could have DH'd possibly Hicks a little bit more to make sure his shoulder's okay and rested that shoulder. And had Tauchman in center field. So there was a lot of different things the Yankees could do that they didn't do. I'm still upset about Larry Rothschild or Boone not coming out to talk to Chapman when Altuve was up. But hey, it is what it is, and that crap's over. We went 5-0 when he was in the lineup and 0-4 without him. I agree. I mean, he adds a level of uncertainty to a pitcher, so he's still scary when he's up there, even when he's bad. But no, I agree 100%. I think he should have been in the lineup. I think he should have been a DH. And if it was that bad for him to run, then they should have had somebody that could protect him in that sense. Alex Gordon to the Yankees, no, I wouldn't be interested in that deal unless they're taking Ellsbury or some garbage. Alex Gordon for J-Happ, Nah, I'm not a huge fan of that type of deal. I'm not a huge fan of that type of deal. Yeah, Gordon, I'm not a huge fan of that deal. I told you guys about a year ago, Mr. Reliable, who's my good guy, he told me about, what was it, last offseason, that Jacoby Ellsbury would never play for the Yankees again. Jacoby Ellsbury's not coming back. Jacoby Ellsbury's not coming back. Simonetti source for pitching coach? Hell no. I would never have a starter removed. They would hate me. No. No. I might be the next manager of the Pirates. And with the way the organization is going, they might just hire me. They might just hire me at this point. They don't know what the hell they got going on right now in Pittsburgh. They might bring me aboard. I don't know. Maybe if they're watching this, they can bring me aboard. I have no idea. What are the Yankees going to do with Ellsbury? They're going to buy him out when his option comes, I think. I don't think they buy him out now. I think they buy him out. Do you sign Rizzo for first? Rizzo's not a free agent. What about Hap to the Phillies? That makes sense. I tell you what, a deal that I would make with the Phillies, if you could try to get a young arm, and the Yankees need a backup catcher. You know, they got Andrew Knapp over there, who isn't a great offensive catcher, but good defensively. Maybe a Nick Pivetta, who I know the Yankees were interested in last offseason. But Pavetta's a guy who, if he puts some things together, could be really good. Whether that's out of the rotation or maybe even as a strong bullpen arm. Guy that throws very hard, very good slider. I could see them making a deal with, I would like a Nick Pivetta, maybe Andrew Knapp deal for J Happ if they take on a lot of Happ's contract. I wouldn't mind a deal similar to that. That could make a lot of sense for both clubs. I do think Larry Rothschild, by the way, will end up with Joe Girardi. I think that's a very real possibility. No, look, the Phillies know they got a keeper in JT Realmuto, folks. He's not going nowhere. JT Realmuto's not going nowhere, guys. You guys know that. What else you guys got for me today? We're about to hit the 30-minute mark, so I'll jump off here. What else do you guys got for me today? What other questions do you got? If the Cubs make Bryant available, do you trade for him? Yeah, I mean, I think that's very possible. More likely add a middle infielder if Didi, what was that again? If Didi goes or trusting Voit. I think it's very possible they can add a middle infielder. DJ full-time first baseman next year. I'm not opposed to that. I've seen a lot of Yankee fans that are opposed to that idea of DJ LeMahieu playing first base, and they act like first base is not a valuable defensive position. I think it very much is. We saw what he did in the postseason. He was great. And look, if some people don't think the Yankees would consider that, ask yourself one question. He played every game in the postseason at first base. So for a lot of the people who say that's ridiculous or the Yankees won't consider it, he played every game at first base in the postseason. So they obviously think he's definitely the best first baseman they have right now overall. And the way he played and performed, it really wouldn't hurt the Yankees for him to play first base. And you could then possibly get a Adam Frazier to play second base potentially. And there's a lot of good middle infielders out there. I'm not saying that's the guaranteed move, but you could definitely, consider something like that. If you feel that Voit, maybe you move him, Andujar could DH or Andujar, whatever. You got a lot of options. That's why I've been saying I do think the Yankees have to trade somebody. I do think you will see them active in the trade market. I know a lot of people get mad when I say this. I think you can see the Yankees revisit a deal for Robbie Ray. I think you can see the Yankees revisit some of the trades that they've talked about in the past. Maybe a Archie Bradley. Maybe a big relief pitcher. maybe a good backup catcher, a guy they feel can really challenge Gary Sanchez to ensure that he's where he needs to be. Would be interesting. So it would be pretty interesting to see what the Yankees can do this offseason. I do think they got to start trading some guys. They'll have some guys opening up on the 40-man roster. They may have to move or add. So it'll be an interesting thing to see what the Yankees do this offseason. You think Tyler Wade can fill in that second base? Yeah, I think a lot of Yankee fans have given up on Tyler Wade, but they also forget how young he is. If Tyler Wade can keep progressing, because he does get better. It's not like Tyler Wade is just getting worse. He looked better this year with the bat. He looked more comfortable after he went back to his old stance. He did pretty well in AAA. He looked good when he came back up for the Yankees. Started to drive the ball a little more. So I like Wade. I think Wade is a decent ball player. I wouldn't necessarily just throw him out there. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of just handing guys jobs. I think they should always have to work for it. That's what I think is Gary Sanchez's biggest problem. I think Gary Sanchez knows he's the catcher of the Yankees. I think Gary Sanchez is not concerned at all, no matter what he does, about losing his job. And I think that hurts a player. I think that is in a player's mind that he says, well, nobody's going to take my job, so it doesn't really matter. Now, if you get a guy behind him, like a James McCann, who can arguably start on many clubs that can, really push him, I think that can make a big difference. I think if you get a Roberto Perez from Cleveland that can really push him, a good catcher defensively, a good hitter, hit 20-plus homers this year. But if you could get a guy like that can really push him, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that says, hey, Gary, look, just because you're struggling now, we're going to make this other guy start a couple of games, and now you're on the bench for 2 games, and now in your mind, you're saying, shit, I better step it up unless I'm not going to catch no more. I think that will only do Gary good, and that's nothing against him. I think friendly competition on a club is always good. I think that's always good. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I know you guys are interested in that BMF title. I got my guy Nate Diaz winning on Saturday, no doubt about it. That whole card is going to be amazing. Ben Askren should retire. He should retire. He's not capable of fighting in the UFC, if you ask me. I think in most of his fights, you could tell he's just not that elite level fighter like he thought he would be. I don't think he is. So we'll see what happens. But Saturday, if you're a UFC fan, is a major card. I think it's the 500 event for the UFC, so it's going to be very exciting. Great card from top to bottom. I am super excited about it. Guys, I gave you some more news today. We will talk more. Again, I will have the Gardner video coming out soon. If you are not subscribed to this channel, you must subscribe to this channel now. I'm telling you, subscribe to this channel. For a Yankee fan, I do talk my UFC stuff, so I'll also have UFC videos coming soon. Make sure you subscribe, like I said, put notifications on. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. UFC stuff. If you guys got some UFC questions, I will go ahead and answer those pretty quickly for you. I do an update on Conor McGregor. I do think McGregor will obviously fight on that January card, so that's going to be interesting for all of us McGregor fans out there to see him come back strong. I do think he will fight multiple times in 2020, so it's going to be very interesting. Does Frazier have trade value? Yes, of course he does. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for all your support. Get at me on Twitter if you need to. At me, I will respond back to you. DM me, whatever you guys like. I will be doing the Simonetti annual, not really annual, monthly follow. And do the follow thing where I follow my Twitter followers who I'm not following. Ask if you want to follow, and we'll go ahead and do that. Domingo Herman, will he fight in 2020? Ryan, man, we all miss you. Thank you for being on here. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.